methods of preparation. But then, sometimes our Christmas concerts, we used to sometimes write material and rehearse. I think our record of planning was about 8 minutes, which showed, but it doesn't really matter. Then you have to realise we're all a bit, most of us got through the clearinghouse, didn't we, I think? It was the sort of, either you had poor exam results, or you had the sort of character, like I had a mind which said, you know, we nearly expelled him 3 times. That sort of school reference. But I don't know about your upbringing, but both of my, not all of you know this, but both of my parents were Druids. And tonight's about serious. Both of my parents were Druids. It wasn't easy for me getting here. They had to make so many sacrifices. Actually, I need to read. I'm into reading glasses now. I was at the optician the other week and I had my tests and he called me and he said, I don't have to say this, he said, you'll have to stop masturbating. I said, well, am I going blind? He said, it's not that, the other patient's getting upset. No snorting, please. It's like swine flu, a couple of people tonight have said, was I the guy with the weird bubble car? Do you remember in my third year little bubble car? Little Isetta, no I did. Little Isetta bubble car. And it had a BMW motorbike engine. And I used to say to girls, I've got a BMW. We go to the car park, there's a little bubble car, and then we go, oh. But I actually remember trying to think about stupid things that we'd done. And I'm ignoring the water tower and barbed wire and toboggan and all that crap. But I actually tried to bump start it by down the Vash Hill. And dead easy, sliding windows, kind of thing, didn't weigh much. I got it going, just about to get in, and this blind wave of realisation when I remembered that it was the front of the car that was the door. But I was young and fast, so I just accelerated and got in front of it. Whereupon the sill hit me in the ankles, wham! Now in the car, legs up in the air, going down the hill, going faster and faster. I recovered, I went like this, and then remembered the steering wheel is attached to the door, which is now a left. So I reached out and slammed it shut and went on full left lock across the road. Cars are coming up, by the way, I'm going down, I'm across both sides of the road like this. And slammed it into gear and it never started. I realised I hadn't actually turned the ignition. I had this huge bruise for days. And people would say, how'd you do that? And I'd say, I don't want to tell you. But I forgot about that now. But I do remember being a bit shy and girls arrived in 71. Oh yes, thank you Lord. And we used to fight for the few girls because the ratio was amazing. And you know when you've got a new relationship and there's a point when you've got a bit of a wind and you don't know whether I just go, look at that cat out there, I'll go and shoo it away. You go and go, and I vowed to myself, the next time I've got a bit of wind, I'm just going to let it go. And she's embarrassed or it's upset, but it's a test for the relationship. And a few days later, the situation arose and I thought, there it goes, it all happens. And she wasn't bothered at all. Her dad wasn't best pleased. Some of the rest of the congregation were a bit upset. No, my funerals are like that. And maybe I shouldn't have said like to it. No, I had trouble, but I did have trouble actually. You're a matron. Yeah. Brian Richards was saying, where's Brian? Brian Richards? Yeah, he was saying, remember, his girlfriend had some injections, done holiday, and came back, and she was all swoony and had an allergic reaction, went to matron's door, got carrying his girlfriend, and matron goes, self-inflicted, slammed the door. Unbelievable, it's like some trillion. Well, I had a strange problem, and I went to the doctor, and I also had a Japanese motorbike, one of the few people who had one in this country at the time. I got it from my brother, who's in the RAF in Singapore. Quite a gleaming monster. Covered in rust, underneath the rust it was cleaning. And I said to the doctor, I've got a problem, because every time I see a Japanese motorbike, I pass with. And my fart goes, which he found unusual. So anyway, as I went by the window, in his surgery, and sure enough, I waited. Down comes a Japanese motorbike, and he got round this great big stick with a hook on it. I went, what are you going to do? He said, over the window, that's terrible. So he made me drop my trousers, and he said, you've got a little boil on your bum. I said, yeah. He said, have you got toothache? Or not that? I said, no. He said, is your girlfriend abroad? I said, no. He said, well, that's what it is. Abscess makes a fart go on.
Oh, God.
Steve understood that. There was an elderly couple, even older than us, early 70s, they got together, good relationship, and their kids said, look, why don't you get together and get married or something? So they talked about it, but when you've already had a previous relationship, you really want to sort all the things out first, all the details. You know, who's going to take the dustbins out, who's going to have remote control on Wednesday, all those sort of things. And eventually you'll get round to the difficult stuff. The bloke said to the girl, the lady, bear in mind they're 73, 74, and he said, how do you feel, what's your opinion, how do you feel about sex? And she said, I prefer it infrequently. He said, is that one word or two?
Oh, Malky.
Difficult times, Warner Brothers having problems. And the chap there, ex-Newland Park chap, who's now a salesman in America, said, I'm used to problems, I will sell these somewhere where they love Middle East, they love cartoons. He was over there for 3 months. He came back and reported, he said, they don't want Mickey Mouse, they don't want Donald Duck, but I tried selling the Flintstones. He said, well, who wants it? They said, well, Dubai doesn't, the Emirates doesn't, but Abu Dhabi didn't. They're not supposed to be good. Well, our stuff wasn't good, was it? A friend of mine does suffer from stress. He's a kleptomaniac. When he feels stressful, he has to take something for it. School children on a holiday-ish, one day to the farm. Only about 8 years old. I said, you had a good day at the farm? And the first one said, we saw some pigs and some cows. And one said, and we saw chickens and ducks. And one said, and we saw some fuckers. I said, I'm sorry, but a farmer called them heifers, but we know what he meant. And there's a local rabbi, amazing character, who's particularly good at circumcisions, often in a local paper. He keeps all his cuttings. He sews them all together, made a little purse. He goes on holiday, got a suitcase. See, he likes all the smutty ones, doesn't he? He hasn't changed, bless him. Last one, this apparently is a true story, but I never really, you don't know, do you? You don't know. I'm in a bar in London, Free Uxbridge, not quite London, is it? The chap comes in and he's got a big long coat, like the sort of ex-army stuff we used to have. And he says to the barman, if I can entertain you and fill your pub, can you give me a room for the night and some free beer? He said, well, if you can, yeah. And the chap opened his coat and there's a big pocket there, took out this fabulous model of a little piano. And he told me this in 1969 on my notebook. And he took out a pencil and he on the piano, of course, he didn't make the noise, he kept tapping it. And so that's very interesting. We've got a couple of blokes interested in model making, but that's not going to fill the pub, you bet nothing. In the other pocket, he took out this perfectly formed little man who sat down